I know you want another story, don't you? One more story, and then it's time for bed, alright? 'Cause you know who's coming tonight, don't you? "'Twas the night before Christmas in Tipton, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a rat. Little kids throughout the town was snug in their beds, while visions of new iPhones danced in the yeds. Me own kids, Tangerine, Trojan and Troll, was doing some late night shoplifting just for a lull. On the hunt for a last minute bargain or three, a foot spa, Game Boy or Christmas tree, a 50-inch plasma complete with remote, anything that they could shove up their coat. I was at warm, turkey flavoured crisps on my lap. I'd just settled down for a long winter's nap. Me stockings was hung by the chimney with care. Me tumble dryer had busted, so I was drying them there. On the radio in the background, as I lay quietly napping, Eminem was doing his Christmas rapping. I'd switched off the telly 'cause it was driving me saft. Comedy shows where nobody laughed, celebrity shows with folks that I know, bake-offs, cake-offs and dance-offs and more, films I'd seen 1,000 times before. We'd got Deck in the Jungle, but Ant nowhere near. In rehab perhaps, thinking, get me out of here. We'd had Christmas specials that were very special, and lots of one-offs that should have been none-offs, a huge self-indulgent expensive bore. In the end I just couldn't take any more of the celebrities on their lavish paid-for adventures with the 20 grand's worth of sparkling dentures, grinning at me in that peculiar manner, while every 10 minutes a bloke called John Lewis tried to flog me a piano. You've got no chance, love. There ain't room in my lounge for a penny whistle. Unless, of course, I got rid of the telly and that corner was emptied. I must admit that night I felt tempted. So any road, there I was, dozing on the chair, when out on the lawn there arose such a clatter. I sprang up slowly to see what was the matter. I went to the window, and what did I see? Well, I'll tell you in a minute, but I need a rhyme for the last line, so first I'll go for a wee. 1 minute later, tenor pads replenished, bed socks and dressing gown on, I went to see if the commotion had gone. I crept down the stairs, across the creaky floor, and cautiously opened the door. It was cold. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a lustre of midday to objects below, when what to me wondering eyes did appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment he must be St. Nick. Yes, Nick Owen was here, delivering a gift, no doubt. What could it be? A bottle of stout? Or was he bringing good news? That'd make a change for Nick. But what on earth was he doing here? And why was he surrounded by deer? More rapid than eagles I came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer and Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner and Blitzen. Why he'd suddenly started swearing in German, I really don't know. Perhaps the poor bloke had stubbed his toe. But whatever it was, he looked in distress, so I thought I'd try and help him out of his mess. But before I could mutter anything at all, Nick grabbed the drain pipe and was scaling the wall. This was clearly a bloke spurred on by pure fear as the antlered animals brought up the rear. The scene was descending into manic farce as the stags stabbed their antlers up the poor bloke's bottom. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. The stags had somehow got on top of the house. Can you get deer traps like you can for a mouse? As I slammed the door shut and was turning around, Nick came down the chimney with a mighty bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, his peculiar outfit now covered in soot. His cheeks was like roses, his nose like a cherry. Nick had obviously been on the sherry. Now call me old-fashioned, and many do, but I don't like it when strange men enter me flue without invitation and invade me womb, so I threatened to call the police. Not that they'd come. No need, he screamed, I'll confess, and breathless he sat in pain and began to explain how he'd got himself into this mess. Apparently he'd been out in fancy dress to a stag party, ironic in Cannock, quite a trek from here, and somebody, he claimed, must have spiked his beer. On the way back through the chase, his car had broke down a very long way from the nearest town. His phone had no signal and he needed a wee, so he relieved himself up a handy tree. But before his bladder was properly spent, a nearby stag had caught his scent. The animal's territory was under threat, even though he hadn't spotted the rival yet. So as Nick headed back, he was being stalked and hunted, and next thing he knew, he was violently shunted by a pair of antlers right up his bum. And then, from nowhere, another one come. So then there was 3, then 4, then 5. Nick's focus now was on staying alive. He was soon being chased by 8 wild stags, and he couldn't keep up on account of the fags. He'd named all the animals to try and make friends, but the reindeer was focused on more sinister ends. They chased him through Penkridge, down the A449, past the Molyneux, towards Dudley in double quick time. Nick turned left, bereft of ideas. In blind desperation he headed for Tipton. Surely no self-respecting deer would follow him there, but he wore thinking straight on account of the beer. Out the corner of his eye, in the distant gloom, he'd spotted a dingily lit room. What he'd seen was my kitchen and the handy flat roof, and thought surely that's safe from a thing with a hoof. But he underestimated the skill of the beasts, who'd now decided he'd make a good feast. So they followed him up on top of me house, and still nothing stirred, not even a mouse. Nothing, that is, except 8 psychotic reindeers clattering on me roof, and an intoxicated soot-covered newsreader dressed as Santa Claus screaming his head off in me lounge. I'd had enough. I called Dudley Zoo, and they sent someone round to sort out the animals, but none could be found. Well, I was definitely here, I said. Just ask Nick. Nick who? Said the bloke from the local zoo. The newsman, I said. He was sitting right there. And I pointed to an empty chair. It was then that my daughters, no doubt full of booze, must have slammed the door, and I opened my eyes from a lovely snooze. The zoo bloke had gone and the telly was on. Nick Owen was reading the news. Some story about Cannock Chase. I glanced over at the fireplace. No sign of any soot, just a picture of Sooty, my new-found friend, on the end of the mantelpiece. It's true. There was a panto flyer just above the fire. It even mentioned the zoo. 'Twas the night before Christmas in Tipton, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. But I swear, before my eyelids drifted shut once more, I heard Nick exclaim ere I went out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to Doreen, good night." Come on, Cheeky, it's time for bed now.